सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्.
As and now, actually, all our suffering, the root cause for all our suffering is thinking about ourselves too much, that's all. You forget an important factor, nobody bothers about you so much, even about your mistakes. Even if you have committed a small mistake, you go on thinking that everybody is watching you, they are going to judge you, you are going to be in a trouble today or tomorrow. Nobody cares. They have enough of work. Understand? They have enough of work. Nobody cares for you so much. There is a beautiful story I read the other day. One guy wrote a great writer. He wrote a book called Confessions about all his mistakes, all the sins which he committed, all the relationships, what all mistakes he did, everything he wrote a big book. It's a big book. And he called the top intellectual people to get their review for this book, their opinion for this book, maybe forward for this book. After reading the book to the whole group, he thought he has done a big revolution, that people will be shocked because nobody has done such an open confession, honest confession. He was thinking people will be shocked to listen all these things. But he saw people are only bored. Nobody was shocked. And they were just waiting to go out. They felt as if they are trapped. He asked the people who gathered there, don't you feel surprised? Don't you feel shocked? One guy said, we do not want to hurt you, but who cares for the sins which you committed? Nobody cares. But you think about yourself too much because you constantly live a life which is centered on you. In the East, always the seekers are requested to go to Himalayas. People ask me, Swamiji, why should we go to Himalayas? Understand, when you go and live with the nature in the hills, suddenly you realize life is not centered on you. In cities, the whole life is centered on you, means you know logically your whole day routine. Morning, where you will get up, how you will do the next step, what will be the next, and where you will go next, and how you will come back, and where you will come and rest. The whole thing is under your logical control, under your plan. So the whole thing goes according to your intellect, your logic, under your control. Because of this lifestyle, by and by you start believing unconsciously you are the king or ruler of your life. You do not believe there is a higher force behind the whole thing. You tend to believe everything is under your control. That is why when you fall sick or when something which is beyond your logic happens to you, you feel it comes as a big shock to you. Your unconscious never believed there is something which is beyond your logic. Because you live a routine life. The whole routine is practically under your control or under your prediction. It is under the predictable limit. Maybe you will get caught in traffic for 10 minutes or 1 hour, but you can predict it. It is all under the predictable limit. At the most, you will have an accident, a small accident. Even that can be predicted. So almost things are, at least the majority of your time in the 24 hours, at least 20-22 hours is in the predictable limits. That is why by and by you start living a self-centered life in which you start believing life is under the control of your logic. Once in a while, if you go and live in Himalayas, where life is wild, natural, not logical, not organized, not arranged, you can't call 911 if you are sick. No ambulance is possible. Forget about medical care. Even ambulance is not possible. Every year we all go to Himalayas. I take people from around the world to the Himalayas. People ask me, why do you spend 15 days, Swamiji? I tell them just to give you the glimpse that life is something more than your logic. Life is something more than your intellect. It is not under your control or prediction as you believe unconsciously. If you see that nature, vast nature, you will understand how small this so-called civilization is. You will understand that all the civilizations of the planet Earth, or the great science, or the anything, is just a dust in front of nature. You will understand you are nobody in front of nature. If you live in the cities, you think or you start believing unconsciously you conquered nature. You never allow the nature to intervene in your life. You have air condition, heater, everything. Whether it rains or shines, your life is not changed much. You managed technically to believe that life is under the control of your logic. It is within your hands. But only when you live in the wild nature, place like a Himalayas, you will realize life is something beyond your control. Life is a blessing. You will not take life for granted. You will not take life for granted. You will experience the life which is beyond self-centered life. If you live in the city, constantly you think the whole thing is created for you. Actually, human kids are the most vulnerable and insecure. Any other animal starts managing itself within few days. But human kids cannot manage themselves till the age of 7. Till the age of 7, they need food, care, love, everything. Actually, this is the one and only reason for family systems, why families are created. The main reason for families is to take care of the human kids, children. That is the main reason why families are created. The whole social system of human civilization is based on this one reason, to take care of the human kids. That is why the society, that is why the homes, That is why the families, that is why the country, the whole social setup is only based on this one need. When you are a child, when you are a baby, constantly everything is supplied to you. Food or clothes, shelter, comforts, love, care, attention, everything is showered on you. So naturally, unconsciously you start believing the whole world is created for you. Actually, I used to think my uncles and uncles, they are working and they work and make money just to give me presents. When they come to our house, just to buy presents for me, they are working. They are making money only to give presents for me. That's what I used to believe. And I am sure many of you would have thought in the same line. You may be thinking, you may start believing unconsciously that whole world is running just for you. Everything is happening just for you. But after you grow, after you become adult, suddenly nobody cares for you. You are on your own. Nobody bothers about you. The missing is too much. You are not able to tolerate, digest the truth that nobody cares for you. You are not ready to face the truth. It is too much. What to do? Then you start creating a fantasy or a belief around you. No, life is running for me only. Life is under my control only. You start creating your own fantasies, your own ideas that life is running around you. You are the center of the life. You are not able to believe nobody cares for you. You can't understand that shocking truth that you are alone. You are not a center. That is too much. You try your best to create a world around you which will be affected by you. I have always seen wives, if they come to meditation camp without husbands, or the husbands, if they come to meditation camp without wives, it creates a big problem in their house. The reason is, he or she is happy without the other person's involvement. We can't digest that. He cannot be happy without me. She cannot be happy independent of me. That is too much. My world should be affected only by me. Whether it is happiness or suffering, I should be the center. It should be caused by me. How can something, whether it's a happiness or suffering, can happen without my interference, without me being the center? That hurts too much. Without you being the center, you don't want even happiness. You call something as happiness if it happens only as you being the center. Otherwise, no. You being the center becomes the root. That becomes the mantra. That becomes the philosophy of life. That is where the tumor starts. That is where the cancer starts. I always tell people, once in a while, live where your routine is not under your control. Take little risk, nothing wrong. Little risk is okay. Live in a places like Himalayas, where your life is unpredictable, where life is life. As on now, never ever think you are living your life. You are in graveyard for which you have keys in your hand. That's all. You are already in your tomb. Only thing difference is you have key for your tomb. You can open and go out and come in. That's all. There's no other big difference. Almost your life is under the control. The unexpected things cannot happen, means everything is clearly planned. Then how can you say life is happening to you? It's only planned incidents again and again getting repeated. The past being replayed again and again into the future is what is your life. That is why even if you live many number of years, you don't feel the fulfillment. I always tell people, add life to years, not years to your life. Adding years to your life cannot bring fulfillment. Add life to your years, that will bring tremendous fulfillment. Many times I already feel I am living for a long time on the planet Earth. People ask me, Swamiji, you are so young. I tell them, no. I only feel what you fellows are doing for so many years sitting on the planet Earth. Still neither became enlightened nor feeling fulfilled. Actually, that is the truth. People come and ask me, you are so young, you tell you are feeling that you are living here for a long time. If you live intensely, you will feel that fulfillment, that you are living for a long time. Means you feel like you lived much more than the years. The overflowing happens only if you are living the life as it is. Only when you live, at least for a few days, the life which is not planned, life which is not pre-arranged, like places like Himalayas or somewhere, only then your unconscious will start believing life is beyond your plans. Life has got one more dimension which is not centered on you. As on now, you do not believe life has got some dimension in which you are not the center. That is too difficult for us to believe. It is too much. No. How can my life be not centered by me, on me, around me? Understand, what you think as you is not, fortunately, cannot be the center of your life. The good news for you is, what you think as you cannot be center of your life. If that is center of your life, you would have created a worst hell, much worse than present. Because you do not know what you ask. You do not know what for you work. You do not know what for you are living. We do not even have an idea about what is our real pleasure, what for our body is running. Even about that, we don't have a clear idea. If you look deeply into your life, you are running just because still you are alive. We don't even have a clear idea for what this whole thing is going, for what this whole thing is moving. Be very clear. What you think as you is too small. It is too small. But constantly you believe unconsciously that what you think as you is the controller or the center of your life. The idea which is created in you in the young age that you are the center of your life continues to live in you even after you become adult. Even after you become adult. Understand? If you are carried as a child, you need that fantasy to cope up with the reality. Even after becoming an adult, still if you carry that fantasy, we are childish, mentally retarded. A grown-up man doesn't need this fantasy. Maturity means the ability to face the reality as it is without any buffers. Buffer spring is a part in automobiles which reduces the shock. The shocks of the road will not be transferred to you. The buffer springs will take away that. You won't feel the shock. Same way, these lies that life is centered on you, all these lies are created by you as a buffer spring. Maturity means facing the life without buffer springs. As it is, the ability to face the life without buffer springs as it is what I call maturity. When you are mature, naturally you start resonating with the truth you, not I. As long as you are resonating with the idea I, as long as you are believing you are the center of your life, you are the controller of your life, you can never understand devotion. Even your devotion will be just an utility, egocentric technique, not ecstatic energy. It will be egocentric technique. Understand, only when you start understanding the truth, your life is much more than what you think as you. What you think as you is not the controller of your life. The devotion starts happening in you. Then the tremendous trust over the energy which runs the life happens to you. When the trust happens, you are liberated. You are in liberation. The inner trust that whatever is happening is beautiful. When that starts happening in you, already you are in liberation. Then naturally you don't need to think. You don't need to plan. The biointelligence which is running your whole life starts expressing itself even in your day-to-day life, even in your day-to-day routine. We always believe God will intervene, the higher force will intervene only in the serious matters. But when you trust the automatic intelligence in you, when you relax, suddenly you realize, even without your planning and thinking, you are able to handle, live, respond your dates and expand your life. Only then you will understand What I mean by the word devotion, what I mean by the word liberation.